The way that processes are created and stopped differs based on the operating system you use. First, let's have a look at how Windows does things. When Windows boots up or starts, the first non-kernel user mode that starts is the Session Manager Subsystem, or SMSS.exe. The SMSS.exe process is in charge of setting some stuff up for the OS to work. It then kicks off the login process, called winlogon.exe, appropriately enough, along with the client-server runtime subsystem called csrss.exe, which handles running the Windows GUI and command line console. We'll talk about a process called init in the next lesson, which Linux uses as the first process. You might be tempted to think of smss.exe as the Windows equivalent of init. Don't fall into that trap though. When it comes to process creation mechanisms, they're all pretty different. In Windows, each new process that's created needs a parent to tell the operating system that a new process needs to be made. The child process inherits some things from its parent, like variables and settings, which we can collectively refer to as an environment. This gives the child process a pretty good start in life, but after the initial creation step, the child is pretty much on its own. Unlike in Linux, Windows processes can operate independently of their parents. Let's take a look at how this works by creating our own. First, let's launch the PowerShell process to give us a Windows command prompt. From there, we can type in notepad.exe to create a new process for the Notepad program. So far, so good. The parent process is PowerShell, and the child is the Notepad application. What happens if we kill the parent process, though, by clicking on the X button? Notice that Notepad keeps on running happily, even though its parent has been terminated. Those children are just in their own world. Clicking the X is just one way to stop a process from running in Windows. But as you might expect, there are other ways you can stop processes. You can use a command prompt command by calling on the task_kill utility. Task_kill can find and halt a process in a few ways. One of the more common ways is to use an identification number known as the process ID, or PID, to tell task_kill which process you'd like stopped. One way to do this is to kill Notepad again by specifying the PID using task_kill/PID and then the PID number. So task_kill/PID. This is the process ID of Notepad. And success! This will send the termination signal to the process identified by the PID, which happens to be Notepad in our case. This is useful, but how do we get that PID in the first place? Glad you asked. We'll talk about how to locate and view processes and other more detailed process information in an upcoming lesson.